like the blue would wish for you to do exactly this. I do not see why we should do her will.
That was my thinking as well.
Even if he wasn't, at least it would answer the many questions I have on that particular encounter. If he has lied, then it would be easy enough to answer.
Well, if you're wrong, the implications of that would be most dire indeed. The method of uncovering the truth is not... it's not the best method. Not the most subtle.
Besides, if there truly were a being such as you suggest in the midst of the High Druid's power, do you not believe she would know? Even if she does not act on it yet, I do believe she would know.
I believe that even powerful people such as her can be fooled.
If Ajax is indeed a chaos beast, then probably this Draco Druid is as well. It's my guess, at least.
It is possible, but not necessarily true.
He would be powerful enough to mask the appearance, at least.
Well, I'm not one to stop you from doing this. However, I would ask that you keep an open mind, and at least wait until he has spoken with Aurelia.
Aurelia nods hesitantly.
Perhaps you can wait after such a meeting and then do what you seek to do. But first, should we find a way in which we may be transported, whatever means we might use might take a bit of time to prepare, in addition to you may wanting to stay here for a little while.
If we do leave, though, how do we know the druid's option is still on the table?
Because if we brought them the Orb of Storms, do you not think they would go through with this?
This Draco Druid might kill her in the meantime.
She does not believe he can.
And he believes he does.
Who did you find more trustworthy?
I think they're both arrogant. So I find none of them trustworthy.
There you go.
But I do think that if we side with Evelyn Court, they will take too much time. That is their custom.
Again, you speak of something with which you have little experience.
History has proven as much.
History?
What have they done in the last century?
Yes. Allowed others to flourish, developed much. In art,
Done nothing.
magic. And what have the dwarves done last century?
Not that much as well. And I fully acknowledge that.
Perhaps I could tell you a bit about the people, what the people who I have been associated with have done recently, and perhaps should not continue to do. But in order to accomplish that, we need to decide on what to do. We need to act.
Then I see no need for further discussion.
If you honestly believe that this is the best course of action for everyone involved, then we should get to it.
The rest of us don't really have an option, because we can't force him to do it.
You could offer yourself to the High Druid. Perhaps
Do you think she would accept it?
amusing.
She wouldn't accept it. She wants you specifically. And we all know that. If she would accept me, I would gladly take the offer.
With that moment, Aurelia finally returns to the clearing. Looking about as calm and unflustered as ever. The short, slight woman with her tiny steps.
She's been gone for a long time.
Yeah.
Aranas will look to her.
Aurelia will look back, nod slightly, and gesture respect, and keep walking.
Sure.
And sit down.
He does not wish to talk. Well, she doesn't say, I believe you should ask her about that, Geráck. Offer yourself,
In your stead.
if that is what you wish. It would not change my thought on what we should do.
There's no reason why she would want me, but we can certainly ask her.
If you have a desire to. I still believe the Orb of Storms would do better with the elves. She wishes to use it, gloat, and then destroy it forever.
I doubt it would be much of a difference, although what she proposes might require destroying it,
It might.
which means the elves cannot do it at all,
Why would you think so?
because they wouldn't destroy it.
They might.
They desperately want it, and they just said that they wouldn't.
They would attempt not to, I imagine. But if the need proves great, you've ever been a people who do what's necessary.
I don't believe you.
Zergish just lights answers. Of course you wouldn't.
You might have faith in your people, but I do not share that same devotion.
Looks to Jasmine. Surely you can understand where I'm coming from. We argued in there. We have different perspectives on this, but it seems that those would both lead us down this path. I believe that the imbalance right now that I see existing between the Empire and the High Druid is grave, but I also believe right now that the discussion, the two sides, are not equally balanced either. This current situation might create a position where the High Druid becomes too powerful and the Empire is forced to lash back. Such
Agreed.
a system would not function either.
Agreed.
How would this make the druids? I don't understand what you mean.
It looks to Aurelia. You want this done quickly, which is understandable. But I assume it is not at any cost. And beyond that, I'm glad that you understand it from my perspective.
I still have issues trying to understand how your family relations, what that exactly means, but yes.
It is rather complicated. To the High Druid, I doubt it means much more than that I am a way in which she can get at her sister. You know, I have many sisters. All the queens have had many sisters, and all the queens have many daughters. The best one is the one who becomes the next queen, and so there is constant competition among all of them. This creates a lot of rivalries among them, and perhaps the High Druid is still spiteful that she was not the next High Druid, or Elven Queen. Perhaps she is spiteful that she is only half Elven, and I have no doubt that there was contention about this fact when she was growing up.
It did seem so the way she talked. However, how would you staying here be so horrible for you?
I would be like a prized pet. I would look upon the world and see changes I would want to make, and I would be unable to make them. I would be caged with a little bow on my head, sitting here, looking out, until my thoughts were all but void, until I heard nothing but her sweet whispers. Sort of moves his hand unconsciously to the hilt, something I have had enough experience with to know how poisonous it can be. I do wish to learn of nature, but for an eternity, my devotion lies elsewhere.
The High Druid has not stayed the same forever. You might live longer
Epic
than she
roll.
does.
If we do leave, it might very well mean that the High Druid retracts her offers, or at least requires us to give her more, even more. So, well, I do trust your opinion that the elves are not only capable of doing what we need them to do, but also willing.
I doubt that they are willing, if this requires destroying the orb.
I do not see a way to convince you, Mr. Dwarf, other than showing you.
Indeed. And I do not see a way of convincing you either. It seems your pride is too great.
If only it was that easy.
If this was only a matter of pride.
It is a matter of duty.
To me it sounds like pride.
Your people would think so.
Chimes in. Don't let him keep bringing race into this, Geráck.
You do bring that up a lot, but to me it doesn't matter. It's your custom.
Seems we're decided then.
Well, you are.
He looks to Jasmine and to Aurelia.
Whatever works.
I must say, personally, allies over anything else for the Empire would be better. So I do stand by Aranas' idea.
Looks to Tempus, though he doesn't really know him.
This is
You're
your
wanting
chance,
my
Gryph.
opinion?
Basically.
Tempest sighs, shuffles the card in his hands. Cards. Yes, I don't know you. I really don't. I've tried to pay attention to what you're saying, and I drifted out several times. I know what I would like. And then you said that you're going to be selling your life into slavery.
It is something I would rather not do.
Would staying with your relatives really be slavery?
Yeah, that's what I was going to get at, Geráck. I mean, you can't really compare what I went through to being
Indeed, that's
indentured.
kind of arrogant.
If you were to be an indentured servant to your father, Geráck.
It would be my duty.
People's duty seems to be easier than others. He'll stand. I would speak to Alo, but if you would rather have me speak to the High Druid instead.
She might take offense.
She might.
She might expect exactly that behavior and decide to fulfill your request.
You're also not going to be getting a hold of her anytime before tomorrow. It's late.
That we won't.
I do believe she's the better option, though.
So be it.
Perhaps you can convince her that her victory will be even sweeter if you indeed decide to talk to the elves first and then again decide to come back to her. Perhaps you can convince her that that is what you will do. In some way or another.
We shall see. And Aranas will stand, and it's getting late, kinda. So he will go and go someplace sort of away, where he will pray for the strength to do what he must for his people, and not take the easy way out.
Arrogant fuck.
Sounds like an argument for Geráck there.
Geráck will be salty as hell, just walking around, moving, just kicking things and being generally angry.
On a different topic, I would suggest that we take shifts guarding the camp. As much as I trust Astrid and her abilities, I do not believe that she glances to Tempus for a moment, that magical constructs are entirely beyond manipulation.
Neither are people, but yes, I agree.
Tempus is like eyes raised and looks over at Astrid.
Astrid is not paying any mind. She's too busy focusing on watching her surroundings as she walks around Lord Taraptus' tent.
Even if it might be futile for us to guard and pointless, it would still make me feel better at least.
Fine, fine.
No, you folks can certainly set up a watch schedule for sleeping if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Geráck will take first watch because he probably can't sleep for a while anyway.
Silly sleep schedules.
Silly sleep.
Silly sleep, yeah. Geráck will be too angry to sleep.
Well, he won't be the only one awake. Aurelia will stay awake as well for a time. Certainly deep into the night before she goes to sleep. I'm not hearing a watch schedule here. This might be important, so,
Oh, I was thinking we do our D5 of watch schedule.
I mean, I very well might do that. I was thinking about suggesting that. Maybe I'll do the D5.
Tempus will take first watch.
No, I just said I would.
He already called dibs.
Fine, second.
Sure, Aranas will return and learn that they're doing watches for some reason. So he'll just take the last one and go to sleep when he returns.
I would take second to last.
Okay, I'll take the middle then, I guess.
Bird.
Okay. Then it would certainly be Aurelia. Why don't you roll me a paying attention during, like, sitting in the deep night of the wild wood skill check?
Alright, maybe I can argue a background for this one.
Okay.
Because, like, being patient and watching for changes in the dark of the night might very well be something that she has done before as part of her former job.
Might have been?
As she was waiting for the opportune moment to strike, perhaps, or like trailing a target, waiting in the dark outside to see whenever something would move.
Okay, so she's good at paying attention to the near pitch black campsite at night in this wilderness area because she's done shit like this from the other end when she was stalking people.
Yes.
Sure, that'll work.
All
Make
right.
it secret for me.
If I were going to kill these people, I would stay there.
How would I do it?
I would be up there with a crossbow. No way.
Don't read her thoughts, and it's just like, oh god,
Okay.
kill all those people.
Well, Aurelia will notice then, as she is keeping careful secret watch. So secret. She waits, wondering, if I were to murder every single one of these sons of bitches, particularly that elf bastard, how would I go about doing it? With the golem there. Probably didn't have to do it before with the golem there. So I'd have to approach from a different angle. She'll notice that, other, camps, in the large clearing, have settled down the rest as well. She also notices that late into the night, the butterflies do flutter in on, a nearby branch and sit there quiescently. Aurelia's not really familiar with the nocturnal habits of butterflies, particularly ones that can apparently speak by rubbing their wings together, and can lead you to the High Druid and back. That's it, though. Superior Teraptus does stir once or twice. He gets out of his tent to attend to ablutions, but he goes back. Does nothing more than grunt at Aurelia.
Okay.
The night passes without further incident for individuals as they rest or reflect or do whatever, unless you want to have any other particular interactions. The next day can be had.
Geráck will have a nightmare of a bunch of elves sitting in a grove just arguing among themselves while the world burns around them.
That was a vision, not a nightmare.
Sadly, there's no Grey Harbor where we can leave this world to burn and go to another one.
The character wouldn't do that anyway.
No.
Okay, totally honest. Continue with Jasmine.
Next morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose he's already up because he's taken the last watch, so...
Mm-hmm.
I suppose it's more waiting for other people to wake up so that the watch is sort of gone.
Jasmine will most certainly wake up. She hasn't been asleep for that long, so she kind of just had a nap more than anything. Because, second last watch. And she'll wake up and stretch a bit, giving a acknowledging look over to Aranas, but just wanting to find a little spot beneath one of the trees. And just gonna sit there a while, but with the same holy symbol from before in her hand, just kind of contemplative about everything that's happened.
If she's up, then I'll take that as meaning that the day is sort of beginning. And I mean, the High Druid probably doesn't sleep in, so you kind of want to get this done as fast as possible, or at least get it arranged. You would, however, like to wait until Aurelia wakes up and ask her potentially when she would actually want to leave. If she wants to be there for Ulia's conversation with Ajax, then it might have to take a while.
Well, you'll have to wait until Sheep gets back.
Well, I suppose I'll go talk to people before then.
Geráck will stay in his tent for a while, still being mad.
Angry dwarf.
Yes, very much so.
Suppose he would want to go to the butterflies.
All right. Butterflies are sitting quiescently upon the branch where Aurelia would know that they've been, basically, since they arrived hours ago.
I'll walk up to them and ask, I have a request for the High Druid. Perhaps you could bring it as to spare her the time of a meeting. Would such be possible?
The butterflies sit there, perhaps expectantly.
Let's see. My request is as such. I would soon like to travel to my homeland, the Queen's Wood. It is quite a distance away, and as I would like to consider this offer of the High Druids as quickly as possible, I should like to get there sooner rather than later. I believe he would have the power to aid in such a thing. If I ask for too much, I would like to be informed as well, so that I may go elsewhere and seek this favor. That is all.
One of the butterflies takes wing and flies off into the forest.
Well, I'll go back and wait. I mean, a bit of breakfast. Wait for Aurelia to wake up.
Speaking of breakfast, yeah, she's awake. Eventually.
Breakfast now? Well, he would inquire as to when she would like to leave. If she wants to wait for Ulia to speak with Ajax, we might have to wait here for a few days, or like a day, or whenever they set up their meeting.
I think we should leave as soon as possible.
All right. If Aranas asks Ulia how she would feel about potentially...
You should roleplay it.
All right. You'll approach her. How is she doing this morning? I mean, assuming she's up at this point.
Sure. She is as calm as collected as she is just about every day. Many things do not appear to faze her. Perhaps they might affect her internally, but her external emotions are that of placid, as if just not much can either make her face twitch, even. Perhaps she's heard or seen too much. Perhaps she just isn't an evocative person emotionally. As such, she is in the same state as she was yesterday, whenever you arrived in the Wildwood.
You will go to her, basically approach her, make it clear that he wishes to speak to her.
Her calm eyes, glowing intensely as they are, do come to rest upon Aranas.
I imagine you overheard some of our conversation yesterday.
She looks at you expectantly, like the butterflies.
I was of a mind to ask you that if we go indeed to my home realm, that you might stay here to perhaps finish what we promised Superior Raptors to do in our stead. I said, I know that this is perhaps too much to ask, but I believe that you could perhaps, with some of the rumors going around, he looks towards Aurelia, aid this Ajax in finding a better way for his future while staying here. And I also believe that you could do well in keeping the Superior safe for his diplomatic mission in this place.
She quirks her head, quizzically, at Aranas. She opens her lips and says, I came back to aid you, Aranas, as Elrenara requested. If you feel as if me staying here in the Wild Wood is what aids you, then so be it, though I will not monitor Teraptus, as it were. I imagine some of my time will be spent with Ishana.